Okay, so first coaching question is, what changes will you commit to making right now to help you continue to grow? This is the sigmoid curve. So as it relates to that sigmoid curve, what change or changes will you commit to making right now to help you continue to grow? So that's the first one I want you to go ahead and jot down your answer for. Because this is going to break us. This is going to break us out of that decline phase that we're in. That's the goal here. So your changes have to be enough to where it breaks you out of that decline. All right. So, hey, John, what's up, man? John, good to see you on Zoom, bud. And you got your selling shirt on. I love it. Okay. So let's talk about, Chris, what did you put for that first question? What changes will help you start to grow again? And anything specific to the decision maker not being here?
Well, yeah, that's one of my biggest objections, I think, that I'm getting, that I'm struggling with. And the one thing I think I need to work on, and Steve will agree with this, is that a lot of the times I'm saying the right things. It's just a matter of how I'm saying them and with body language and kind of, whether or not I'm smiling. So I think I got to work on smiling a little bit more, because I get very, businesslike and serious when I start negotiating. And depending on my audience, it may get misconstrued for, an aggressive kind of persona. So I feel like that's one thing that, obviously I need to work on. And then, that the objection that I brought up, that's one that kind of stumps me. I feel like at that point, like, I'm just like, all right, well, see you later. Let us know when your decision maker is ready to rock, kind of deal. Cause at that point, I don't know where else to go.
Yeah. So let me give you a few opportunities for the DM, and you may be already doing all these things, and they may be value adds, they may not be, but I'll just kind of shotgun spray with some of these. Like, so I think number one is, maybe you could start it when you're setting the appointment. One of my favorite appointment setting questions is, hey, who's the lucky one getting this new Nissan? You or someone in your family? And if they say, oh, it's for me, or if they say it's for me and my husband, then when I'm going in to set the appointment, I'm going to hit them with, okay, so when can you and your husband come in? And so that's something that, you can preemptively make sure the decision makers are all there. Another thing, and man, I went I'll never forget when I was selling cars, 3 Saturdays in a row, similarly had that problem. 3 Saturdays in a row, I lost a customer, and I made one change because it was the same reason all 3 times, Chris. It was, oh, I gotta bring in my cousin's got to tell me this deal's okay, or my dad, or whoever. It was really frustrating. So I made a change to my process. So when I went in and I asked for the sale, when I went in for the commitment, because what works? Well, I know if I go in for a commitment, I can sniff out the objections. So I would, at that point, what I'd say is, if everything's comfortable, you're ready to own this car right now. I went back to the basics on that front, asked for the commitment every single time. And when they would bring up that they had a decision maker, I'd be like, awesome, let's show them the car. Come on, where are they at? And so I'd be asking for the sale on the car, and I would literally try to bring the car to the decision maker if they were close enough. And that was a step I took. And then I started calling the decision makers as well. So I think that's maybe, some of those could be opportunities for you, Chris. What are your thoughts on that? We'll circle back. Jessica, what did you put for that first coaching question? Where do you feel like what changes will you commit to making right now to help you continue to grow?
For me, it has to do with getting out of my head. I think I sabotage myself like a million times. I have to really focus on, and I like what you said about the control accent, Paul. That question is true. You want to control what you can, and when you're in your head, you can't do that, because now your mind is everywhere else. You're thinking about what this person's thinking, what they think of you. Oh, as my boss thinks this, or if my manager thinks. It's a lot. It's a lot that you take on because you're just beating yourself down and getting you're just discouraging yourself. And for me, that's the issue for me. I think if I can get out of that, I would be right in my zone. And then again, just maximize my time. I got to get people in front of me, because my personality is what sells. And people do take a liking to me, and it just makes it easy for them. They feel relaxed. They don't feel pressured. They don't like dealing with aggressive salespeople. So when they visit me, they feel like, wow, is this even? I can't believe this exists. So they feel stress free. And So I just have to get out of my head. I just have to find other strategic ways because the other way is not working for me. So I have to figure out another way. And that's what I got to do. And that's what I've been focused on a lot when I'm home on the weekends and stuff like that. So I definitely got my jingle in motion. So I'm really happy about that. Finally, I got the beat in progress for that, for branding myself, because I'm going to put money behind that for Facebook and stuff and just really go hard and branding myself with my jingle. And I think that's going to that's just going to create a whole different lane for myself. So I'm really excited about that and what's going to transpire from that as well.
Guys, thank you, Jessica. Guys, I think we can all learn from what Jessica said there, right? Getting out of our own head. Think about that. Don't beat yourself up and blame yourself for things that are out of your control. Like we all knew that. What did Paul Jr.? Paul Jr. has been calling it for a year and a half, right? The day of reckoning is coming. We're going to have to go back to work again at some point. And guys, we knew this was coming. We're here. It's not your fault. It's only your fault if you don't step up and focus on what you have control over. It's that simple. And you guys, none of you guys have forgotten how to sell cars. Let's be real. You know, it's in your head. You know what it's going to take because you've succeeded in tougher times than today in the past. So you're going to get through this too. I love what you said there, Jessica. Thank you. Wendy, what is your answer to that question? That first question, what changes will you commit to making right now to help you grow? What are your thoughts as it relates to the switching back and forth between the prime and the subprime customers? What changes do you need to make to help you grow?
As long as they fix it, because
like exactly how, but I feel like most it's more myself because I'm so prone to treating it a certain way. It's just basically learning that sometimes you do have to switch it between the two, and it's just learning, hey, I say something not the right way to say it to someone else. And like you said, personality does win over anything. And I've noticed even with whatever customer I have, the prime customer credit, as long as I'm honest with them, I'm
You're bringing up just a little bit. I love what you said about being honest with the prime credit customers and the stuff. Wendy, I don't want to oversimplify, but there is what's really the difference between a prime and a subprime customer? You still have to sell the car yourself in the dealership with the subprime customer, no different than you do with the prime customer. The only difference with the subprime is the order you do those things in, right? And you have to sell that you're different from the competition who's ran their credit before and things like that. So in reality, the only difference between a prime and a subprime is the order you're selling the things. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So that's where I challenge you to just maybe simplify it a bit. Don't make it overcomplicated and just say, okay, I've got a prime customer. I'm going to focus on selling the car myself in the dealership first. And with the subprime, focus on you're really selling the dealership and the financing and yourself and then the car. It's just really that's the only difference. Does that help you?
Yeah.
And then let's Randy, what about you? What did you answer for that first coaching question? What changes will you commit to making right now to help you continue to grow?
Well, I mean, obviously it's continue to learn, continue to understand, from my superiors on how to kind of attack some of these deals. Like Jamil said, sell myself, sell the dealership, sell the vehicle. Those three things that's something that he pounds into all of our heads to kind of really get us, make your sale that much more smoother, that much more easy. So, I mean, just committing to the idea of continue to learn, continue to, press the envelope as much as possible without, turning them off or, having them look, like you're too pushy, that type of idea, but be able to give them the right information, give them the right guidance, and obviously try to, the perks of coming and dealing with us here at Samsung Juniors, which is a lot better than a lot of other dealerships.
Well, to your point, to your challenge earlier, which you talked about the essentially it's like getting the subprime people to buy right now. Can you change do you have, I guess, can you change the type of customers that are in front of you at any given time? If the answer to that is yes, I would say do that. But if not, then I think that it's all about the volume and it is about the long term. So, putting them into credit repair, whether they buy a car or not, finding out who could they get to co-sign, how, using Paul's Dutch uncle thing. We know that works. scheduling the follow-up, finding out when they could get some money down and just being all over that. At the end of the day, if you can't change the type of customer you're getting in front of you, then maybe the opportunity is there to fill the funnel with sales next month or the following month, so like maximizing your time by using the future sale and maybe getting referrals from them. Who do you know who needs a car, Mr. Customer? Even though you can't buy one today, who do you know who needs one? Who do you think maybe could buy one? Something along those lines. All right, I'm going to hit you guys with the next, and we'll circle back on any of these.